problem is we don't intend for them to be that long, but then
No.
we just start talking, and the next thing you know,
We just keep
an hour and a half
going.
is gone.
It's like, I know we're trying to be, cognizant of everybody's time, and then, we get talking.
We just talk.
And that's really kind of just our downfall. We just get to talking.
We just get to how this all started.
It is
Yeah.
how this all started.
We just sit and talk.
Yeah.
As my mom listened, she's like, boy, you girls know how to talk. Like, yes, we do.
We do.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's okay, though.
All right.
It's all good.
It's a good thing.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Kathy.
Welcome to the Drama Mamas podcast. We're waiting for our guests to arrive, so
Yeah.
while we do,
Do we know what number this is?
14.
Yeah.
Whoa. Big number
Oh,
14.
Big 14. Hey, so you guys went to see, let's get this right. 5 women wearing the same dress.
Yep.
Oh, I got it.
Yes.
Finally.
I know, because we've
we've
messed
messed
up
it
the
up
name
so
so many
many
times, and then it was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, fine. I'm just going to keep messing it up on purpose
I
because I
know.
can't seem to get
Yeah.
it right.
And then you can't remember what the right name is.
Yeah.
So how was it?
It was really good. Oh, and I think I've settled in my head. It's just 5 women and Chad.
Right.
Like that was what I kept
Well,
calling
mine
it.
is 6 women, 1 dress, but that's not even the right number. So.
No.
Multiple women.
Yeah.
Multiple women.
It was actually a really cute show. I haven't watched a lot of like straight plays.
Mm-hmm.
So without the music, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. But I was pleasantly surprised. It was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So like it takes place in, I think, 1993. And it's,
in Knoxville, I think, right?
Yes.
They mentioned
Oh,
Knoxville,
yeah.
so some of them have a little southern draw.
But it's just, 5 women. They're all wearing like a, bridal dress, like party dress or whatever.
Is it like
has
a
a name.
hideous dress? Like
What?
do they all hate the dress?
Yes, they
Yeah,
definitely
they
do.
all hate the
It's
dress.
like it's kind of
Stereotypical.
blue. Maybe I can put
Like
a
a
picture of
chiffon.
it in our recording. I'll ask. Actually, they've already published some pictures from the theater, so yeah, maybe I'll share one of those. But like, it's kind of a blue thing. It's
There she is.
nice. Got puffy sleeves and
Hi.
stuff. So I'm Kristen,
I'm Angela.
And I'm Kathy.
and we're the Drama Mamas, and today
Yes.
we have brought on and you can
Jordan
introduce
Grant.
yourself.
So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
We love it. When I went to your workshop, the information you were giving was so different from anything I'd ever heard that I was like, okay, we have to have her on because you have some really valuable stuff to share. Uh-oh, we lost you. There you are.
There you go.
Oh, you disappeared.
What was the name of the workshop?
You froze.
Say that again.
You froze.
Oh, are we still frozen for you?
Oh. You came back.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
Good.
Yay.
So, what was the name of the workshop that you guys did?
It was called Animation 5 Movement 3.
Okay.
All right. So explain again what that means.
So when you go to a character workshop at Walt Disney World in particular, character performers in general at Walt Disney World are categorized and scored in 2 categories, animation and movement. Animation is the way that characters communicate with guests, with each other, and movement obviously is your movement ability with dance combinations in shows and parades and things like that, and they score you on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. So that was kind of my premise, was focusing on those 2 categories and explaining kind of the tips and tricks that I used when I was auditioning for the character program at Disney, but also just the importance of those 2 categories and specifically in animation.
Okay, perfect. So let's back up just a little bit. Let's get a little bit of your history and your background with theater or
Sure.
acting or singing or whatever it may be, because you're supremely qualified. So share that with us.
So I'm originally from Arizona. I have my Bachelor of Fine Arts in musical theater. And then I moved out here to perform in the theme parks. Arizona is not really a place for a performer, obviously. I didn't really want to do the whole Broadway thing. I really wanted to perform in the theme park. So I came out here and did a college program in 2017, and I've lived here ever since. I perform at Walt Disney World in the Hoop-Dee-Doo Revue, which is a dinner show at one of the resorts. I'm a vocalist at that show. And then I also perform at Universal. Seasonally, I do Grinchmas. I sang with Mannheim Steamroller, and I also helped open the new escape room at City Walk. I also dabbled a little bit in SeaWorld, and then I do shows in the community as well.
That's awesome.
I know. It's a lot
Yeah.
going on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm
Keeps you
pretty
pretty
busy.
busy, I guess. Do you do the Hoop-Dee-Doo Revue 7 days a week?
No, so
How does
it's
that work?
open 5 days a week. But I'm a sub there. I was just there last night. So kind of like an understudy or swing, when my role is she has to be out for whatever reason. Like last night, she hurt herself in the middle of one of the shows, so I had to come in last minute for the third
Wow.
show of the night. So I was in the middle of washing my hair, and they were like, "Can you come in?" And I was like, "Sure." So I drove over
Oh my
there and did the
gosh.
last show. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I love being there.
Mm.
So, go ahead.
Oh no! I was going to say we may have seen you. We've been to the Hoop-Dee-Doo Revue, and that would be super cool.
Yeah, it's a great
Can we tell
time.
the kids? Be like, hey, we met somebody that was.
That's
No, it's
right.
nice.
Good
Yeah.
performer.
Yeah. It's a great show. It's super entertaining. The
Mhm.
kids love it. Yeah.
Did you do the Disney College
I
program?
did, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So my first college, I did two of them. My first program, I worked in merchandise. I worked at Mouse Gear. And that was an experience for sure. And then I transitioned over to taking tickets at the entrance for Epcot. And then the next year, did another college program, and I worked in the Adventureland and Liberty Square area at Magic Kingdom, and I worked at the Tiki Room, the Jungle Cruise, Hall of Presidents, and all that time I was performing at Universal and performing in the community and just auditioning.
Oh my gosh, you must have a lot of energy, which I actually know you do because I watched you in the workshop. You reminded me of that little emoji. It's the sunshine guy with the glasses on. He's like super happy. Like, that's her. Shining bright.
Nice.
But I imagine you have to be like that to score a role.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you talked about the interview process, and I've never heard of an interview process where you don't go in and sit down and talk about yourself.
Yeah.
And what you described is totally different. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for Disney?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you go in and they for Disney World, they just, call you and they ask you, random questions when you're just interviewing for a regular job. But when you go in for character performing, there's no interview process at all. You just go in and you do your audition. And if you make it to the end, maybe they'll call you. There's like an informal phone interview after the fact of like, hey, are you legally allowed to work in the United States? And as long as you pass that interview process, then the job's yours. But for character performing, there's really no interview process at all. It's just the audition.
And what does the audition look like?
So for character performing, which is slightly different than what I do now, I'm an equity vocalist. I'm not a character performer, but for character performing, you show up, you get your number, just like every other audition in the planet, and then they teach you a pretty simple, usually 2 counts of 8, across the floor movement, which is what I taught the kids at the workshop. And then after that, they do a cut, usually for people who just really couldn't make it across the floor. And they will walk through a more complicated dance combo with more intricate turns and kicks and basic, can she do a fan kick? Can she do a pirouette? And then they also will walk through the animation exercise that I kind of talked about earlier, which is like a pantomime, and you tell a story from start to finish within a specific time frame, only using your body and facial expressions. And then from there, if you look like a particular character or if you just really exceeded, is when they'll keep some people to do fittings or take some photos. And then usually that's the end of the process. And then it's just a waiting game from there.
How many people are generally in an audition?
It really depends on what city you're in. For the college program, there's auditions all over the country. So I auditioned in Phoenix, Arizona, and there was probably 100 people at that audition. But if you went to an audition, say in New York City, there's 500 people there. And for an everyday, full-time, part-time character performer, who's not part of the college program. Those auditions usually have about 300, 400 people at them, depending on the height range. Especially for that mid range, like my size, 5'6" to 5'8", you'll have a lot of people auditioning because that's where the princesses lie, is in that 5'6" to 5'8" range.
Okay.
So you'll have all of those girls who are like, I want to be friends with Cinderella. And so there's tons of people usually at those ones. I think the most I've ever seen was about 600. And they just make you wait in your car, and they're there for hours. So you got to get there really early if you want to be done early.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they just whittle it down from there
Mhm.
too. So by the end, is it down to just a handful of people? Or you
Sometimes
just
it's
don't
still
even
in the
know?
200. And it really just depends on what they need, especially after they reopened from COVID, they had basically no one. They're still trying to pick back up their arsenal of people. So it really just depends on their need. If they really need people who are mouse height, who can do those smaller characters, they're going to have a lot of people stay. But if they really are only looking for girls who can hang out with Tiana, they're going to have however many girls that is. So sometimes it's 100 still, sometimes it's 5. When I did my Hoop-Dee-Doo audition, um, they told us that 600 people had submitted for that call. And out of those
Wow.
600, there were 10 of us at the callback. At that callback, they kept 2 girls, including myself, for Flora, the character I play. And then I was the only one from that audition who got cast. So it's, I feel very honored, but it's a big
Yeah.
pool.
Yeah,
Yes,
I bet.
absolutely.
Clearly very talented as well.
And so
I
they
hope
do
so.
when they do these calls, right? They could be for any park anywhere in the
Yeah,
world.
so when you go on the website, there you can filter it for anything. So you can filter it by audition city. So it'll usually tell you how many auditions there are posted at any given moment, and then every city will be available as a filter. And you just click your audition city, or you can filter it by park. You can filter it by performance type. So usually I filter it for Walt Disney World because that's just the easiest. And then you can see all of the auditions that are posted. Sometimes there's none. Like right now, I think there's 2 up. And then sometimes depending on the season, there's 15, 16 auditions posted just for Disney World.
And so like a character, just make sure I'm understanding, it could be a princess, it could be Pluto, it could be any of those type
Correct.
of
Yeah.
things.
So, like I mentioned at my workshop, the Disney entertainment performers are really categorized into 2 types. You have the character performers, who are going to be those people, the Plutos, the Cinderellas, the dancers in the parades. Those are all character performers. And then you have those performers that have slightly specialized skills, like myself, who are vocalists, actors, pianists, really, really trained dancers. Like a really great example is Festival of the Lion King. If you've ever seen that show at Animal Kingdom, you have those dancers on the floor that are dressed as snakes, and they've got all the grass and the cool outfits. Those are character performers that have high movement scores, usually 4s or 5s, that just are really gifted. And then but they're still sometimes going to have a shift where they're hanging out with Pluto and Magic Kingdom. But then the birds that are flying during Can You Feel the Love Tonight, those are equity dancers, because that's a special skill. Being able to be so poised and then flung around in the air, I could never.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like Cirque du
Very
Soleil.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like the fire dancer, he's an equity performer.
Okay.
Stunts are usually equity. So those character performers, are going to be those meet and greets, those parade Plutos, and things like that. So those are the main 2 categories that I fall into, an equity performer category, and they don't mix. So I could never, unless I quit, waited 6 months and came back, I could never be hanging out with Tiana in a parade. I would have to only be an equity performer.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
So how many auditions would you say you've been on for Disney?
100 at least for Disney alone. Probably 50 of those were for character performing. The other half for various shows in the parks. Yeah, probably 100 at least. if I really sat down and counted, which
Wow.
would take me
Oh,
forever.
wow.
So a lot of no's
Yes.
before you got that really good yes.
I've gotten one offer. I turned it down when I was towards the beginning of my time here. I had one offer and turned it down just because of where I was in my personal life at the time. And then this is really the first time that I finally have gotten into equity performing at Disney, and it's been great. And once you have your foot in the door, then you can kick it open the rest of the way. So, well, here we go.
I love that phrase.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, it's true. I mean, I've seen that, in a former life working at SeaWorld. I did education to get my foot in the door to be an animal trainer. So yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Work your way up.
Yeah.
Now, will this help you being an equity performer, vocalist? Will this help you stay within Disney, but maybe broaden? So have you ever done auditions, let's say for like their network, if it's like a TV show or a movie, is that something that you can kind of catapult to?
They're like separate entities. So Disney Parks is its own finger in the hand of Disney. So they don't ever cross. I would have to quit my job at Disney Parks to be on the cruise line. I could never be on American Idol because it's a part of the Disney family. If I wanted to be in Star Wars, I'd have to quit. Because although they are all under the Disney umbrella, they're different entities owned by different people, budgeted different ways. But, still exposure, and someone could show up. Alan Menken was at Hoop-Dee-Doo a couple nights ago, apparently. So, you never know who you're going to see. And even within equity performing, I had 2 callbacks in the past month for different shows on property. And you walk in the room and it's the same vocal director. And she says, "Hi, Jordan, how are you?" And, it feels good to know that I'm known. So even within the parks bubble, I have so much opportunity.
So once you get that role, so how long have you been at the Hoop-Dee-Doo Revue?
For 6 months. So I was not in the reopening cast. I was in the cast directly after.
Okay. So once you're in that role, is there like brush ups and, retraining, or once you get it set, you're kind of set for good?
It's usually once you get it set, you're set for good. When they reopened after COVID, there was a little bit of rebranding of the show, a little bit more inclusivity, a little bit more sensitivity with certain verbiage and the way that they did things, especially just given the setting of the show. But so they all had to relearn that show. But unless I have a Christmas overlay, which we just finished, or if I get asked to come in to cover some new cast's approval show, I don't ever have to really go into rehearsals. I just come in and am doing something crazy that's not what I learned. But that's all just part of staying on top of it on my own time, but also just being a professional, honestly. I went about a month without being in shows, and then I showed up and was very nervous, thought I had forgotten everything, but it was like riding a bike. The first couple seconds, I was like, "Oh, where am I going? Where am I going?" And then it just came to me.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's true.
Fake it till you make it, right?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, the audience doesn't know,
Right, they
right?
don't know.
So,
Or do they?
yeah, or do they?
So it's 3 shows a night that you do?
So at Hoop-Dee-Doo, it's 3 shows a night. Call time is 3:50, and we usually end around 10:30. 3 shows, about an hour and 15 minutes long, which is the longest
That's a
show
long
on
show.
property. And then we do 3 shows. It's also the only show on property that has live music, which is super unique and exciting. But yeah, it's kind of, once it goes, it doesn't stop until the show's over. So you got to be ready to go. Even just doing the one show last night, I got home and felt like I had been hit by a bus. Because it's just, you're just, going and going. And my costume is so heavy because it's set in the, pioneer days. So I'm wearing like a huge, heavy petticoat and heavy dress, and I have a wig on, and I'm wearing tights and bloomers and Laduca boots that are, got to feel this long. And I feel like I'm just covered, and I am, because it's like a high neck too. And so You're just going. Um, but it's a great time. I love being there.
Do you have like rituals basically that you do to help protect your voice, to help make sure that you don't do anything too strenuous for your
Yeah,
body?
I use a vocal mist, which is like a saline solution. It's a nebulizer, and you put the saline solution in, inhale it, helps keep your vocal cords hydrated, and just gives it the nutrients that you might need. You can use it before, but it's intended to be used after to kind of make sure it's repairing it. Kind of
Okay.
like gargling salt water, but a little bit less abrasive with the gargling, because you can just inhale it. And then I have a massage gun, so I will massage my thighs a lot because there's lots of plies. But also, I just have a lot of rest. Like
Yeah.
I give myself a lot of grace, and if I'm tired, I listen and I sleep. Um,
Yeah.
Usually, we'll just take some ibuprofen before I go to bed, and I don't wake up as sore as I might. But just making sure I eat a good breakfast and sleeping goes a long way to feeling better and recovered after a night of 3 shows.
Yeah, I bet.
Are you on the stage the whole time?
There's probably a combined 10 minutes that I'm not doing something throughout the whole show. There's a moment after the opening chunk where the guests are eating their food. We're not out. And then after that, I only have about 5 minutes of a break where 2 characters are singing a song that I'm not in. But then other than that, I'm just gone. Other than like quick exits and going to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's high energy dancing
Yes,
too.
it is.
It's
Yeah.
not,
And my
there's
character
no
is not
slow
even the
dancing
high
going on.
energy dancer. My character is more of the vocalist, the ingenue type within the caricatures of the different characters. And I have 7 lines compared to my counterpart who leads the show. But I'm still dancing and twirling and doing all kinds of things, acting like a fool.
In a big heavy dress.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Is it inside? Because man, Florida.
It
Okay,
is.
good.
Yeah, it's in
So you're not wearing all
sometimes
that
it's
outside.
freezing, and sometimes it feels like 3 fires are burning around the stage. It just depends on the day, honestly.
Mm-hmm. No, I always worry about those, the guys in the Pluto suits or whatever outside in the middle of summer. Like, how do they do that?
That's why you have to be an adult to work at Disney and Entertainment, because it's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't want to hog all the questions. I have so many.
It's
Keep
okay.
going. You're doing
Keep
great.
going.
Keep
Because I had
going.
questions after the workshop. Like, I want to know more. What did
He said go Beyonce.
Oh. Call me Beyonce. Go through what you did with the kids for the movement kind of audition part of it, and so you gave some really good tips and tricks that you have used for that. Like, kind of describe that part for us.
So, my workshop is called Animation 5 Movement 3 because I myself am not a strong dancer at all. And I'm not ashamed of that at all. I know my strengths. I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So I feel like it's really important to make sure that people who are interested in being a part of that know that they can have a place within, especially the Walt Disney Company, even if they can't do a triple pirouette or kick their face. You can make it happen, because if you really lean into the animation side of things. And so I really did focus on the importance of animation and how important it is to be able to tell an energized story with your body. Because like I told the kids, Mickey Mouse doesn't talk. Sully and Baloo and Pluto and Minnie, they can't speak. So they have to be able to tell their story with their bodies, with their hand movements, with their energy. And that's something that I was always very good at. And so I let them know, some of my tricks that I do when I'm at those auditions, which is, they give you a prompt for the animation call. Usually something pretty simple, like you're going to a party or you're making a monster or be a hero. And then they let you run wild. The example that I gave the kids with this particular trick that I use is they wanted us to be searching for treasure. And they need a very clear beginning, middle, and end. And they said, you're looking for treasure, and we want to see what the treasure was. And I asked the kids, on the count of three, tell me what kind of character looks for treasure. And they all said pirate, every single one of them, which is correct and which is great and fine. But casting directors, when everyone is a pirate, suddenly it's just one pirate. So I always try and go with my second idea. And so I told the kids, instead of being a pirate, because I knew everyone around me was going to be a pirate, I put on my headphones in my animation exercise. I put on my headphones and I was looking for treasure with a metal detector in the sand. And I see those casting directors now, years later. This was probably 2018. It's been 5 years. I see those casting directors out and about, and they still remember my animation. But I can guarantee you that they don't remember the other 300 people that were pirates. And I just told the kids it's important to be creative when you're doing your animation because you want them to be looking at you. I also reminded them the importance of just having those big movements because they're big characters. Obviously, if I'm typing in real life, I'm going to type like this, but that's not interesting. When you go see Mickey Mouse, you want to see big typing like this. So I really encourage them to kind of be goofy and be big. And if they thought they were being too big, they could probably be bigger. And it's also about being simple. A lot of the kids were like, I don't know how to sew. I'd given them the prompt, I think on the workshop that you were at, I'd given them the prompt of they were going to a party. And then I wanted them to present whatever they were bringing to the party, whether it be a gift or balloons or whatever. And this one student said, I don't know what sewing looks like. I don't know how to show that I'm sewing. And she was telling me all this, she was pulling out all this thread. And I said, you don't need all that. Just put the thread in and then just thread it. That's all you need. You don't need to be doing all the crazy stuff because then you're just going to get bogged down. So I just stress the importance of clean movements, and which is just good in general, honestly, even when you're dancing. I might not be a good dancer, but I'll do it clean.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just being original, I think, goes a long way in those auditions to make sure that you stand out because there are sometimes 600 people there and you want to be the one that they cast.
Yeah, I know there's probably maybe 25, 30 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And when you told them to start doing their little animation, I was thinking, oh my gosh, if I was a casting director, it'd be really hard to pick somebody out of the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But then some of the kids were doing those really big movements and really exaggerated movements.
Mm-hmm.
And your eye was drawn right to them because they were doing something which probably felt really silly to them or kind of, uncomfortable. But it did absolutely made you look at them versus the other kids that were kind of being a little more withdrawn.
Right. And luckily in an audition, like a real true audition setting, they whittled the group down even further. So once you've gotten all your rehearsing and your practices out of the way, they'll split you up into groups of 5, usually, like small groups.
Okay.
So they have a little bit less to look at. But still, even a group of 5, that's 4 other people they could be watching instead of you. So you need to make sure that you do something so bold that they don't want to look away. But you don't want to be crazy and embarrass yourself. But it's very hard to embarrass yourself at a Walt Disney World audition.
But it has to be readable. Like they have to know what you're doing.
Right.
Just
for
you're
sure.
making big movements doesn't mean they're good big movements, but it has to be a readable movement and understandable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're basically pantomiming? Is
Exactly.
that what you would call it?
Yeah. I asked the kids if they knew what an animation was, and most of them didn't. They thought I was talking about a cartoon, which is actually true. And then I asked them if they knew what a pantomime was, and they all did. And so I was like, well, you know what an animation is then. It's just that ability to tell a story without words, which is a huge part of performing at Walt Disney World. Even in my line of work, I still have a lot of times where I don't have lines to tell some sort of story. I have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have to be 18
Yes.
to even be
Yeah,
considered for that?
I think that
Okay.
they have like a little bit of wiggle room if you're 17 when you audition, but you'll be 18 by the time they start your onboarding process. But yeah, for the most part, you have to be
Mhm.
18 just because of all the hazards that come with the job. I mean, even
Mhm.
when I was doing Hoop-Dee-Doo, which is inside, I slipped on a puddle of unmentionables and sprained my arm. Um,
Oh my God.
like a week and a half after I had been approved and signed off on the role, I slipped, hit my arm on a barrel, and was out for a month because I had sprained my
Oh
arm and
my
had to get an
gosh.
MRI. And, you know, a kid, a 17-year-old, 16-year-old kid, that adds a whole nother world of liability that
Mhm.
I know their huge company does
Yeah.
not want to take on.
Liability.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But by doing
Makes
that, like
sense.
you're saying, it's a good way to get in the door and
Mhm,
hopefully, build up from there.
absolutely.
And do you see a lot of the same people at the
Oh, all the
auditions?
time. All the time. I almost always, you see a lot of the same people for a lot of different reasons, just because it's the same people who want to do the same job as you, but also the same people that are the same as me, they're the same type. I am unique just because I'm a person of color. So even though I'm a person of color, I really have a very ingenue, golden age, more type sound to my voice, which is unique, which I'm very fortunate to have. But I still will see the same, blonde girls and the same ingenue types
Mhm.
at every audition. It's the same people, and I'm like, hey, how are you doing? And I show up at these callbacks, and I know exactly who's going to be there. If they
Mhm.
submitted, they're probably going to be there. And I see a lot of my friends too, because they're also people that I've worked with in shows in the area or in a show at Universal, and so it's a really small community here. That's really supportive and great, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what we've learned too, is that theater is so small. Whether it be, people having contacts here that are up on Broadway, and you're like, oh yeah, and then the further we get into it,
Yeah. The
and
more of that we even see.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's so
Yeah.
true, so true. So I assume you're obviously local to the Orlando area. So you said that you do some other things in the area. Where do you do shows outside of Disney and Universal? Like, do you
So
go to the Dr.
I've
Phillips or?
done a couple shows at different theater companies. I started with Osceola Arts in Kissimmee. I did How
Okay.
to Succeed in Business without really trying there. I was Rosemary's understudy, and I was in the ensemble. I was also in Young Frankenstein there very recently. I played Inga. I also was
Oh my
in The
gosh,
Heights.
that's awesome.
A couple of years ago, I was Vanessa. I
Mm,
did School of Rock at Theater South Playhouse. I played Rosalie Mullins in that, which was a great time. And then
mhm.
I also did shows with Celebration Theater Company. They're not doing much right now, but I was in 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee there as Olive, and I was in
Oh,
SpongeBob
nice.
as Sandy Cheeks. And then I've done a couple of smaller things with different
Sandy Cheeks.
smaller theaters. The Renaissance Theater Company, I've done a few things over there as well.
And at Universal, what do you do?
What's that?
You work at Universal as well sometimes, you said?
Yeah, so when I'm performing over there, I did Grinchmas last year as Betty Lou Who, and then I performed with Mannheim Steamroller, which is Grammy-winning orchestra, super
Yeah.
cool. Um, and
Yes.
so I sang it with a few other vocalists there. We sang the songs from Grinchmas with the live orchestra, which was I did that last year and this year. I did the Martha May track for that, so I sang "Man with a Bag" and "Where Are You Christmas," and then we recently opened the City Walk escape room, and there's characters that guide you through those escape rooms, and I portrayed the character that guides you through the Jurassic World escape room. So I did some actually while I was rehearsing for Hoop-Dee-Doo. And then I also performed in Halloween Horror Nights, just some other incidental stuff throughout my time there. But I'm
Aw.
always somewhere.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like you're
That's
happiest when
great.
you're performing.
Yes, I am.
So like you mentioned that Disney calls it like animation, right? Do all the parks call it that same thing? Is it like a park thing?
Always. Sometimes it's just like they'll call it character movement. Sometimes they'll call it animation. I think it's just um, whatever. It's sometimes at Disney, it's always animation, always. But
Okay.
at some of the other parks, at Universal, at SeaWorld even, it depends. Sometimes it's characters, sometimes it's just storytelling. I've been to a couple Disneyland auditions, and they're a little bit different even over there with their structure, from character to character and things like that. But they called it, I think, story something. I was confused because I was used to Disney World, and when they explained it, I was like, oh, it's animation. So
Nice.
it all boils down to the same thing, but they're all slightly different in the way that they describe it.
Mm-hmm. Basically, they're looking for singing and movement.
Yeah.
In the character realm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The three. But I like how you have your title, right? Like you said, you've played up your strengths. So your animation 5, movement 3. Because we've talked about how it's perfectly natural to have one skill that you're stronger at,
Yeah.
whether it be the vocal piece or the dance piece or the acting piece.
Everybody always is like talking about being a triple threat. And it's like, that doesn't, you don't really see that. Like, you see people who can sort of move, but are really great singers and actors.
Yes, exactly. You're either a dancer that can sing, or you're a singer that can move, right?
That's
one
me.
or the other, and you're always going to have a
like you.
and that's you.
Not so much the dancer.
I think on my own,
But it
I
sounds
was
like
just
I
at
mean,
a
a
call.
3 doesn't sound bad to me.
No.
Just at a call last week for the pirate dinner adventure here in Orlando, and the owner asked me if I could dance, and I was like, kind of. And he was like, what does kind of mean? And I was like, if you give me an 8 count, I can probably get through it just fine. But if you need me to sing something on the fly, that's going to be really where my strength is. And I think as long as you can hold your own, and as long as you can fake it till you make it and smile through it and have some level of grace when you're moving, I think, especially as a female, it's a little bit harder for females. You have to have some level of grace when you're moving. Males, they can just and they're whatever.
Around.
But
Nice.
But I think as long as you have at least some level of competency in all three, I think that's still a triple threat.
So like a good base is what you're
Totally,
thinking.
totally,
like
totally.
A good base, have some ballet, have some.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
So, you scored this awesome gig with Hoop-Dee-Doo. When you get that, are you like, you're set, you're in that role as long as you want to do it, or do you have like a contracted time?
So, as a sub, it is kind of just until I quit, until they offer me a contract. But then once they do offer you a contract, it's, I believe, a yearly renewal. So every year they sit down, they either renew your contract or they give it to someone else, based on any number of things, just like on Broadway. But for the most part, unless there's someone who's come in and is just,
blown it away,
you're going to keep your contract.
Okay. All right. That's good. But it also gives you the opportunity, right, to say, hey, you know what? I did this for a year. Maybe I want to try something else.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be beneficial.
Or if you audition for something that you land, maybe that's better.
Right. Like the Pirate Dinner Show, which, by the way, is great.
Yeah.
It's seen that one as well.
Something.
Yeah. There's a lot of audience participation in that show, which is lots of fun. And it's got that whole story with it. If you guys have never seen it, you need to go.
It's fun. And the food's actually not bad.
Oh. Yeah. The food's pretty good. It takes place all on a pirate ship.
Oh,
nice. I mean, you're not on the pirate ship, but the people, the actors are.
Oh.
And so it's super fun. It's kind of cool. Right there in the middle of the I don't know, what is it, an arena or whatever you would call it, stadium, whatever. It's all indoors, so it's like right in the middle of the thing is this big old ship. And you gotta dance on it and maneuver on it, and there's some stunts involved in that too.
Yeah.
Not
me.
So how
we'll leave that up to the men.
Just to be clear.
So you probably mentioned this. You probably mentioned this earlier on, and I didn't. I just, it's not coming to me. But how long have you been doing, singing, dancing, acting?
Well, professionally, not long. 5 years, but just in general, my entire life. I started singing when I was really young. Sang in the church choir, like a lot of people start, I've realized. And just, it was in middle school that I realized that I could sing and be dramatic at the same time. I saw Lion King with my family when I was in the sixth grade. It was touring, and that entire experience from start to finish, getting the tickets with my dad, it was once upon a time when you had to buy the tickets in person because Ticketmaster didn't exist yet. So
Right.
I stood in line with my dad for hours, and I saw the show, and I was just blown away by the theatricality of it all. And so that really was, I think, the moment that I realized that I wanted to be a musical theater performer. And then it was in the seventh grade when I started being introduced to musicals that weren't, The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast. But since then, I just have really been honing my voice and acting and a little bit of here and there, but mostly just singing and acting. And it wasn't until high school that I started performing in shows. But then I haven't stopped since then.
So do you still train like to this day? Do you still take lessons and have a vocal coach and all of
I
that?
take voice lessons. I'm out of lessons right now just because I've been doing so much and I've been taking care of just like some other like personal stuff. So I've been putting that on the back burner, but I vocalize for about 15 minutes at least every day of, just true vocalizations, running through my repertoire, making sure that I am staying on track with auditions. But yeah, I'm always, watching some acting intensive online or getting a voice lesson. Sometimes I'll go to drop-in dance classes with some friends. And so every day is still a day to learn and grow because you can never be the best.
Yeah, that's a big theme that we've heard as well of the people that we've had the opportunity and we've been blessed to be able to speak with. Is the biggest thing that they say is never stop training. Like keep going, keep going, because there's always so much you can learn. Because if you're not training, there's somebody
else is doing
somebody else is training.
Absolutely.
So,
do you have some advice for kids kind of looking into theater and getting into something like this? What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I think it's important to remember that your biggest supporter, your biggest advocate is yourself. And there's this kind of stigma in the world of it's getting better, but that you shouldn't talk about yourself and you shouldn't brag about yourself. And the only way you're gonna succeed is by knowing your worth. And so I think it's so important at a young age, even to recognize your talent and to recognize why you should be the one to be doing this. Because of course, your loved ones should support you and, your parents should help you get through what you need to get through to do it on your own. But at the end of the day, you're the one in that audition room and you're the one who's presenting yourself. But I also think it's important to remember that if you don't get it, I'm an expert in not getting cast in things. I'm very good at it. It's important to remember that no isn't no because you're bad. It's because it's just not the right opportunity for you. No stands for next opportunity. So take that opportunity figure out what went wrong if it was you, but it probably wasn't you, and then get ready for the next one. And remember that, you're your biggest champion because you're the one who knows the best.
That is great advice because you teach your kids to be humble and not brag and not. So that's a hard transition for them to recognize. Okay, I do have talent. And it's okay to believe in myself and promote myself. Yeah,
and you can still be humble, but know your worth. You don't have to come out and be this big, showy, and I'm great, and let me tell you all the great things about me. Me. When the situation is appropriate, it's absolutely okay to sing your own praises and let people know your accomplishments. And, your resume is your biggest tool. And, as you can see on my resume, I have this and this and this, and, you're qualified. So make sure, you let them know why you're qualified, and that's okay, but you can still do that while being humble.
That's excellent advice.
It really is.
Yeah.
So
let's say somebody's interested in being a character. How you mentioned a website. What is the website they can go look
at? So you can always Google it because sometimes I can get there by just typing DisneyAuditions.com, but sometimes it goes to some weird website. The best thing to do is just to go on jobs.disneycareers.com and then filter through till you get to the auditions page. But usually, if you just Google Disney auditions, it's going to be the first thing that pops up. Sometimes they even show up on Playbill on their jobs as well, depending on what they're searching for. And then even sometimes they'll post about it on social media. They've really, really, really struggled with getting some shorter performers, to fill those Mickey Mouse quotas. So they've been pulling from Facebook. Hey, come audition. Hey, Twitter, come audition. So they're everywhere.
Yeah.
You just have to look.
And they're pretty specific in what they're asking
Right.
for. Like, we need a male 6
Yeah.
foot to 6'4", or
Yeah,
something
so
like that.
usually for those character performer auditions, sometimes it'll be like 4'8" to 5 foot, 5'6" to 5'8", and sometimes like right now, the world is in a tizzy because they're casting for a meet and greet Ariel that looks like the live action Little Mermaid, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I saw some stuff
I
about
think
that.
I think
was
that's
exciting.
amazing. That's so great for a lot of reasons, but. So obviously they're looking for a very specific type of person for that. And other times they're looking for someone who can portray, Tinkerbell, or who can portray Elsa or whatever. So it really you just got to read it. And then for those equity auditions, like the ones that I'm calling for, usually it's like, I know right now they're looking for lookalikes to do Gaston in a Beauty and the Beast show. But sometimes they need, they just closed the Finding Nemo show auditions, and so they're looking for people who fit into these categories and submit this material. So yeah, just seeing if you fit, and sometimes you don't, and you submit anyway.
Sounds like you have to stay on top of it. And you have to stay on top of it. It sounds like you have to check it.
Yeah, I check it about
see what's popping up
once a day, maybe once every other day, because sometimes they show up and disappear, especially for Universal. They'll show up and then disappear within a day or two.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
fast moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quick.
Add that to your vocal training every day.
Yeah,
Checking.
that's very
it's just part of my daily checks. I check my email. I check my audition websites.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're staying on top of it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, then do you not have like a manager or an agent? Did you not go that route?
No,
Just do it
I know
yourself?
a couple of my friends do, but I was always taught, and I've always felt that with theater, you don't really need an agent or a manager until you can't manage all your jobs on your own. You don't really need that connection, especially nowadays. You don't really need that connection to get into the room. Sometimes it helps for sure, but it really is you and your abilities and your resume. But versus film, you're not going to get those auditions unless you know someone, and that agent is who knows that someone. So for film acting, obviously you're going to want an agent right away. But for theater, I found most of the people who I know who do use agents, they didn't start using agents until they really wanted those big, big things, or they just were fielding so many offers that they couldn't make out which one was the best. So
it got
they got some help.
overwhelming. Yeah. Okay. That's great.
All right.
Gosh, I feel like I had something else in my brain that I wanted to ask
you
her. I did. I know. I have like a million different things because it's super cool.
You're a wealth of knowledge. This is wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. So right now, because of the role that you play with Disney, you don't have like a set contract.
Correct.
If you, let's say something happened, they did extend you a contract. Does Disney not let you then go, or you may not even have time, I guess, if you were taking a permanent role with them for that year, a contract role, to go and do things on the side with Universal or to do things on the side with a community theater? Can you do all that?
You're managing your own time. So my friend who is the
great.
2-day Flora at Disney, she does some shows at Universal. And the girl who's the 3-day Flora does shows at Universal. And even the 3-day Jim at Hoop-Dee-Doo, he's a sub for Finding Nemo. One of the other gyms is a sub for Festival of the Lion King. So you can do any number of things, just, you're contracted those days a week. So
make sure you show up when you're supposed to be there.
Right. So that's just your priority, just like a regular job. But ultimately, the time outside of that contract is your own. And even, people are always so surprised when I tell them I work I've worked at SeaWorld and I work at Universal and Disney, because ultimately, the information that they're trying to keep from the public, I'm not privy to, so they don't care. You know,
You have nothing,
Gotcha. Well,
no
that makes
secrets to
sense.
I
share.
don't know anything
Yeah, well, that's
exciting.
nice to know. There's no like non-compete,
Right.
And if
Yeah.
and even like,
Yeah.
for
Okay.
example, the City Walk escape room, I was working on that for almost a year. And it just opened a month or two ago. And I got called back for that in February of last year. And I didn't even start filming it until the end of July. But that entire
Wow.
process, I was signing NDAs. All of the
Okay.
scripts that I was
That makes
getting sent
sense.
had watermarks with my name on them. So that way, if it did get out, it was going to be on me. So
Yeah.
if it is something that's secretive like that, because they didn't even announce it until the summer,
Wow.
they, if they got out, they could have, and they could trace it back to me, I would be busted. I signed a legal document. But now that it's
Yeah.
open,
Right.
I can talk about it, and people are always like, I saw you in the escape room. Like, that's me.
That's awesome.
Now I want to go see it.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We love
really
escape
cool.
rooms.
I
Yes,
got to do it.
absolutely.
I got to do a preview of it, and I was actually the first group to ever go through the Jurassic World one of people that don't operate the room. And even though I had filmed all of these hints and all of these scenarios, I was so stuck a lot of times and got very scared because it's dinosaurs. And it was very silly because they were just cracking up laughing at me in the cameras because I'm screaming and confused. But it's really, really cool.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it does
yeah,
sound
we
a
need
lot
to
of
There's a
Sounds
fun.
like a
Jurassic
girl's
World
trip.
one
I
and a
think we
Back
need
to
to
the
have a
Future
night.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right.
Very
We're
cool.
gonna get signed up for
Yeah, we
that.
are. Well,
It's 2:52,
Yeah,
and I
we
know
know
you
you have a
have
call.
kind of a clock ticking for
Yeah.
you, so we don't want to keep you.
Yeah, we want to.
thank you so much for
Yes.
coming on. You are amazing, and
Thank
you
you.
just have such a beautiful, bright spirit. So thank
Yes,
you.
thank
Yes,
you.
you do. We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's plan to keep in touch. Like, let us know when you have something else going on, something big, something that you want to talk about. We can certainly
we'd love to have
let
you
our
on again.
audience know.
Yeah. I have a couple of things I'm waiting on. I had two, like I mentioned, I had the Pirates of the Caribbean. Haha. That's what
Ooh.
I'm trying to do apparently. The Pirates dinner show, I had that call back, and then I had a Festival of Lion King stuff coming up, and I have my Nemo call coming up. So I have a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Hopefully, my goal by the end of this year is to be performing in some capacity 5 days a week. And I'm
That's
almost
awesome.
there. I can feel it. It's like if I just pull the curtain aside, it's right
Mhm.
there. It's very frustrating.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I bet.
It's
I'm
there.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna come because we've heard that there is a piece of pie for everybody.
Mhm.
That's right.
It's
You
true.
know, we've heard that. So we're gonna bank on that for you,
Yeah.
and we're gonna put
Yeah,
all
we'll
those.
help you manifest it.
That's right.
Yes, we're manifesting it.
That's so
We're
important.
gonna put that
Speak it
up
into
in the universe.
Yeah.
We will.
Yes,
Definitely. Thank
yes, you're gonna do great things. So we're
Thank
super
you.
excited.
you. Don't you wish you could be a little ray of sunshine like her?
I know.
Yeah.
I told you were going to love her.
Yeah.
She,
I
she's got a
remember
lot of
looking
things
at
going
that on, and I was like, what is that?
Mhm.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense now. I
Yeah.
had no idea that's kind of how that stuff went.
Well, and of course, I was like the kids when it said animation. I'm like, oh, we're going to learn about cartoons.
Yeah.
And it was totally not that.
exactly.
Well,
Yes.
okay, so former life, I'm like 19 and I'm looking for my first job with working with animals,
Mhm.
right? So like I've graduated high school and went to college and came back and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm like, I want to go work with the animals. And so I had applied at Disney, at the casting center at Disney. And of course, at that point, my experience with birds was when I was 13, I volunteered, worked at this place called the Bird Store.
The bird store.
Very
Yeah.
original name.
Oh.
Yeah, they're still around, I think. Though I think the ownership and stuff has changed. But like, I did a lot of stuff working with those birds, raised babies and,
Aw.
took care of all the birds and everything. But like that was kind of the limit of it at that point. I did it when I was 13 and then I did it again when I had moved back. No, when I was still in high school. And then when I went off to college, I had quit.
Mhm.
When I came back, I worked there again, but like it was a very brief time. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, I go and I apply at SeaWorld because they have birds. And I don't know that everybody knows that because it's called SeaWorld. But I was like,
It's
I
not
know
called
that
Bird World.
Animal Kingdom is still kind of new.
That's a story. Sorry.
At that time, Animal Kingdom was still kind of new. And I was like,
Yeah.
I know they have some animals. I don't know what all they have out there, but like, I'm going to go apply. So I get into the casting center and they have this like extensive, form that you're filling out before they even talk to you.
Mhm.
And you turn it in and then you just kind of like wait for a little bit. And then this lady brought me back and part of like one of the questions was, what are your hobbies?
Oh.
And I was like, my hobbies? Well, at that point, I've told you that Chris and I met swing dancing,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So my hobby was dancing because we did that all the time and we would go to workshops and everything. And I wouldn't say I was spectacular at it, but I did okay.
Yeah.
And anyway, but I enjoyed it. So I had put it down because I was like, hobbies, yeah, this counts. So they latched onto that because they weren't going to hire me to do animal stuff right out of the gate. Like you kind of have to get your foot in the door and then transfer over and all of that.
Okay.
Plus, they were being kind of sticklers as a new person coming in that they wanted you to have like a psychology degree or whatever. So anyway.
To work with the birds.
To work with any of the animals.
Oh, animals. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Psychology?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Human
so.
psych?
The bird whisperer. Tell me all your problems.
The birds
For
speaking
training,
to me right
for
now.
animal training.
Sure, no, it makes sense. I think there's probably even a specific degree you can go out there
probably
for like
is.
animal psych or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
wow,
like
isn't there?
Yeah, like UF has
Kinda
like a
like
zoological program that would help
Yeah.
kind of get you down that
Oh,
path a little
maybe
bit more.
in
But
in
and they
another
actually
life,
have like a
in
little
another
mini
life.
zoo.
That's super cool.
Yeah, you have.
Okay. Anyway, so go ahead. Keep going.
Anyway, so I get pulled back after I had given over the form, and she pulls me back and she like latches onto the whole like hobby of dancing. And she's like,
Oh,
so you
gosh.
dance? And I was like, well, I can swing dance, but I'm not going to like tell you some lie about how I can do other
Right.
shit because like I can't.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to say I'm like super great at that. I enjoy it. It's
You're
a
like,
lot of fun.
it's
And
a
she was
hobby.
like, well, we don't have any other positions for this stuff, but we would definitely look at you for dancing.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh no.
No.
Oh no. I think we're like miscommunicating or something
Yeah,
here. You
yeah.
said hobbies.
Yeah.
Hobby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
kind of
mean,
funny.
so I didn't take that any further because I was like, yeah, I don't know, what are they on crack? Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Seeing
like,
the parade.
I swing
Yeah.
dance with
So
my new boyfriend.
I got it. I pivoted and got the job at SeaWorld and all of that. But like, yeah. So
Right, so
it's
if you put
interesting
that
to
down,
kind
be
of hear
careful.
her talking about how they don't really have like interviews and
Yeah.
stuff. And this is kind of that same, I don't know if it's always been that, I mean, because we're talking about like, I don't know, 2000, 2001, somewhere in that
Yeah.
era.
Okay.
So it's a long
yeah,
time.
like 20 years ago.
It's a long time.
Dang. I feel like it just turned the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
God,
I
what is
know.
going on in this world?
Well, that's what struck me when she was talking. Is like the interview was so different. You don't sell yourself with your words.
Right.
You sell yourself. I was about to say with your body, but that sounds so wrong.
Yeah, that's not the way to say it. I don't think.
No. Yeah.
You have to move your body in a way that makes you stand out from the others.
Yes. And
then-
she didn't mention
Yeah.
even the vocal piece. That must have
Right.
come into play at some point. Maybe even before that.
I
She's
think
probably not thinking about it because she's a 5 in that arena. So
Yeah.
for her,
she
it was
is.
very second nature.
Maybe she had to turn in something.
Well, I think for
Like
the
a piece.
She
characters,
said she had
you
to
don't have
audition,
to-
right?
Yeah, so I think the equity, like the singers and that, might be a different category than just
Okay.
like I want to be
I want to
Piglet.
be right. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You're not singing as Piglet, so
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't matter.
Right.
That's right.
We
'cause
need
it's
to,
character
we
versus-
probably could have asked this
Interesting.
question, and maybe the next time she's on, we can dive into it a little bit more. But like, I'd like to understand the equity stuff a little bit more.
Yes.
Mhm.
How that happened? What made her make that decision to?
Well, I mean,
go that route.
how it all works.
Mhm.
yeah.
I
we
mean, there's
touched
a lot
on
of
it
ins and outs on it.
a little bit with JJ when we had
Yeah.
him on. Just a little bit, we touched on it, but I think we could really delve into
Yeah.
that
I
a
think-
little bit
yeah.
more.
So it keeps popping up, so we need to understand it better.
Yes.
Because as we've told everybody, we don't know anything.
Well,
No.
that's the truth. That's why we keep having the guests
Right.
on, because
Who
Yeah.
know things.
they're the experts in this stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Absolutely.
just so glad that they come on and they're willing to talk with it. And we've got some more coming.
Yeah, some fun ones coming out.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting from the Florida Junior
Yeah,
Thespians
made a lot of
state
connections there.
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it was great.
awesome experience.
Mm-hmm.
And what a great environment, because they're all there because they want to teach.
Right, because they want to help kids
So,
succeed.
yes,
So
exactly.
a bunch of like-minded people
Yes.
with a lot of talent and
And we
skill.
want to give them a platform to take it, the next step and really just explain everything. Because the other thing too, and I know I asked her about the other theaters she was working at, and man, she just rattled them off.
Yeah.
I know.
So maybe we can go back and do a little bit of research on those and see exactly what those are all about.
Right. Are they like
Are they regional
theaters, or is there something else
Are
there?
they-
Because
Yeah.
there's a lot there too that I don't know. Like we've got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. It's
Lot right
exciting.
I'm eager to do it,
It's limitless.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it is kind of.
It is.
It's nice when you start at the bottom because you got a long way to go.
I know. I
Yeah.
always think about like every time I've had to learn something new, like look at the mountain, and the mountain is so high, and you're just like, fuck, I got to learn all of that. And then you start your way up the mountain. You're like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while. Like I know some shit. And then you look up again. You're like, fuck, it's still way up there.
Yeah. And it seems to just get longer
Yeah, like it
and
just
longer.
keeps extending. It's like one of those,
Yes.
camera pans and zooms, and you just see it extend. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Well, and I love that we're learning and we're going to continue to learn about all the aspects, the stage management, the costuming, all those different
Yes.
pieces that we really don't know even less than anything about. So
And I love that she brought up the pantomime, because that just was like almost one of my favorite parts of going to that junior thespian thing. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Dang it. I wish you guys could have stayed just to even see
that was
that.
fun.
I know.
Because, I was like,
Well, they had a workshop too, didn't they? Have a pantomime workshop.
we did not go to that one.
Yeah, we didn't make it to that one either. It was kind of on my list, but it was not on Pinky's.
Yeah. Well,
so.
mimes are scary, so I understand that.
Well, and honestly, that's like what I thought about it. I was like, oh, they're just going to be like miming in a box? Like, what is this?
Similar but different.
Yes. Similar but different. And so I was like, oh, they're going to pantomime? Great. This is going to be a snoozer,
It was
But then,
adorable.
oh my gosh, those kids, I can't even. Like,
I know
they
it's hard to
just-
describe it. The way they creatively used
Yes.
the chairs just to make
All they
themselves
had
into
were
an
chairs
airplane or
and themselves.
surfing or whatever. It's
And
really cute.
it was seamless. They just
Yeah.
went from one scene to the next, and you could completely follow each activity that they were doing throughout. And they were telling a story the whole time.
Well, I wish you
you
could have
know?
seen Jordan show some of the big movements that she was demonstrating for the kids, because it was like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Goofy putting on his pants, he's got to have big, huge, exaggerated,
Right.
step up really high
Yes.
and pull up, so it's a shame we couldn't see that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
I mean,
did
you
a
can
little
picture
bit
it in your
with
mind
the
because you've
typing.
all seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see how big her arms were.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just wild.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff.
All right.
You know?
Well,
Yeah. So I guess we're
All
probably
right.
wrapping up.
I guess so. It was
Yeah,
a
we'll
short
wrap it
one
up.
for us.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
what
we
time
went
is
for
it?
like an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit
I
shorter.
know,
than
but
normal.
that
This is like our
from
special.
the kitchen is delicious.
know.
I'm starving right now.
Wait, this is like the length of our special.
I know.
Is
Our,
it?
our mini.
I was
Our-
supposed
wait,
to
our
be our mini
quickie.
episode.
Our quickie
Our quickie.
episode that turned into over an hour.
Yeah. Anyway,
All
I
right.
guess
Goodbye,
I guess
everybody.
we're done.
Yeah, and you can back that camera up. It's always like
Yeah.
very close.
Like,
And I was like, you can see the pores in my face. Back that shit up.
But it's a
Watch
podcast,
yourself.
and it's only you talking. That's why it's so close.
It doesn't have to be so close, though.
Sure it does.
No.
We're all this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
No,
Keep me this smaller.
you're saying no.
You're being overruled,
No,
Angela.
people want to see
Can
your
we
face.
meet in the middle? Because that's how good relationships work.
Oh, don't get me started on that today.